Hey everyone, Sumo Spiffy here. Welcome to our first fight preview. This one for Aoiyama vs Kotoeko on the first day of Natsu 2023. The goal of these previews, apart from dodging channel strikes, is simple. Understand how two Rikishi fight each other and how their matchup strategies may, or may not, evolve over time. The idea is to present an analysis similar to the way talking heads on the TV cover film of various sports to show what different teams or athletes do and why. I still can't call myself an expert on this sport by any means, but my hope is that I can speak intelligently enough about what's on screen to make some of the finer points of sumo more visible, and when I'm wrong, use those mistakes to learn faster than I otherwise might. Alright, let's check out this matchup. Kotoeko has a 7-6 lifetime lead on Aoiyama. They spent most of their careers alternating wins until Kotoeko won 3 in a row from July to November of last year. So is Aoiyama losing it, or was it just sumo being sumo? We'll look at the fights in order. This first match is from last May 2022. Here, Aoiyama comes in with his head low and arms working at different angles. His left is going high, while the right hand is targeting under Kotoeko's left arm. Kotoeko, meanwhile, comes upright almost immediately. His arms are inside, which is almost inevitable given Aoiyama's bulk, but this allows Aoiyama to clamp his right arm. In addition, defending his left arm by wrapping it around Aoiyama's right allows Aoiyama's hand to get under the armpit, giving him an excellent position from which to bully Kotoeko back to the rope. In this spot, Kotoeko is able to stand firm against the hay. Aoiyama releases his left arm clamp and tries to shove Kotoeko's head down into the side, but Kotoeko resists and uses the opportunity to drive Aoiyama back a step. However, Aoiyama is able to resume the clamp, and when he twists left, Kotoeko, who's trying to maintain his own left arm clamp, has trouble keeping his left foot on the ground. He briefly releases the clamp, but the main thing he does here to maintain balance is switch stances, and this is just what Aoiyama needs. It's very difficult to throw someone over their front leg, but things get a lot easier when their stance becomes more neutral. For a moment, they both switch stances, but Aoiyama immediately switches back while Kotoeko does not. Now Aoiyama's weight is bearing more in the direction of Kotoeko's rear leg. Kotoeko steps forward with his left as the throw starts, but it's too late and down he goes. Even though Kotoeko fights very well in disadvantageous positions, Aoiyama basically controlled this fight from start to finish. The second fight is much different and much shorter. Aoiyama attacks in the exact same way as in May, but this time Kotoeko anticipates it and gets his left arm outside of Aoiyama's right. Because Aoiyama needs to send his weight forward to get so low, Kotoeko takes advantage by pushing his arm aside and head down after initial contact, and otherwise just gets out of the way to let Aoiyama flop over. This is a simple but effective example of strategic evolution. Aoiyama found something that worked, Kotoeko assumed he would use it again and attacked that strategy, and since he was correct, he achieved an easy victory. With that quick match in mind, we move to September. Aoiyama has no intention of making the same mistake twice and goes much more upright on the tachiai. Kotoeko gets his arms inside, but he can't get to the belt. This gives Aoiyama an opportunity to go directly for the head and attempt an immediate pull down. Kotoeko gets his arms up in defense, but Aoiyama's attempt fails mainly because Kotoeko is so solidly balanced. From here, Kotoeko tries to bully his way inside. Aoiyama pushes him off successfully once, but after that, Kotoeko parries Aoiyama's right arm to the inside, gets struck by the left, but slips his arm under Aoiyama's right and pushes it up. This opens up an attack and forces Aoiyama to step back defensively. Now Aoiyama defends as well as he can, landing a right palm strike and immediate forearm to Kotoeko's face, pushing his head back and setting him up for a pull down on the recoil. However, he's on the rope at this point, and Kotoeko maintains enough balance for one final push to get Aoiyama out before he hits the deck. Despite Aoiyama's ability to make it look close at the end, Kotoeko was in control once he resisted the pull down and turned it into a striking match. In November, Aoiyama was definitely not playing. He started with the old forearm shiver, which Kotoeko managed to partially absorb on his shoulder. Combined with the left hand to the face though, Aoiyama had Kotoeko bent back on the start. However, when Aoiyama tries to keep up the pushing attack, Kotoeko shoves Aoiyama's left arm up, then his right, giving him a path inside. He gets Aoiyama moving backwards with his right hand under the armpit and his left pushing the shoulder, but Aoiyama's own hands get up towards Kotoeko's neck just enough to create another recoil moment. He sidesteps with the release, making Kotoeko stumble from his own momentum, but he's not in range to land a pushdown, and Kotoeko recovers quickly. After that, there's a lot of hand jousting, with Aoiyama trying to keep Kotoeko at range and off-balance him when possible, and Kotoeko trying to parry and block enough to get inside. For the most part, Aoiyama is able to keep his arms in. Even if one flies to the side, the other is there to defend him. But here, his right arm goes up, and when he sweats down to recover as his left is out to the side, Kotoeko has a path in. Aoiyama braces himself against the rope on Kotoeko's first push and manages to get Kotoeko's belt with his left hand. Kotoeko responds with a right hand belt grip. Here they're in a position similar to the first fight where they're in opposite stances and Aoiyama is leaning his weight to the right. It looks well set up for another throw, and that's exactly what Aoiyama goes for. But Kotoeko is able to plant his right foot and send Aoiyama's left leg off course when he swings it forward, giving Kotoeko the chance for the Yorikiri win. If we look at the difference between the two throw attempts, it basically comes down to this. On the first one, Aoiyama caught Kotoeko stepping forward with his left foot and essentially turned that foot into a pivot before Kotoeko could solidify his stance. This time, even if we disregard the belt grips, Kotoeko's center of gravity is lower, and his left foot is much more secure. This lets him hop on it when he gets off balance and shove his right foot back down long enough to trip up Aoiyama's attempt. Much like in September, Kotoeko took control through a superior thrust game and was able to leverage that for a victory despite Aoiyama nearly finding a way to take him down at the end. Their most recent fight, in January, started with Aoiyama hitting another forearm shiver, this one a little more cleanly. Kotoeko actually moves a step back this time. Aoiyama's thrusts are landing until Kotoeko disengages and nails a clean parry, letting him step to the side and secure a favorable position on the belt. At this point, Aoiyama tries for his own belt grab, misses, and pushes forward to keep trying for it, forcing Kotoeko into a retreat. Here, Kotoeko leans left to push Aoiyama's arm up and get Aoiyama's hand well away from his belt. It also tips Aoiyama onto his right foot, off-balancing him and forcing him back. Kotoeko is as in control as he could want until Aoiyama plants his left foot at just the right moment, kicking out Kotoeko's right leg and allowing him to hit the Kotenage after a bit more of a retreating dance. Yet again, Kotoeko used hand fighting to take control and looked well positioned for a strong win until he got tripped up. If Aoiyama hadn't been able to get his foot down and hit the trip at just the right time, he likely would have been driven out and Kotoeko would have had a fourth straight win in the head-to-head. Clearly, these two know each other pretty well, and they each have an idea of how to deal with each other's tactics. Kotoeko has shown a better level of control recently and seems very sturdy against Aoiyama's propensity for pulldowns, so this matchup really depends on whether Aoiyama is able to stop falling into pushing battles with Kotoeko and find a favorable grappling position. If he can do that, he stands a good chance of evening the score between them, but if it turns into a slap fight, Kotoeko should take this one. Alright, that's it for our very first preview. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow.